What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing good. So, in my first video, I told you guys I was going to share the story about my mom, who's been missing for almost 5 years. Okay, so I'm going to tell y'all, like, just from the beginning. So, I would talk to my mom, like, every day on video chat. My granny would talk to her frequently. My other siblings talk to her, too. I don't know, like, how much, but I talk to her every day. But I had just found out I was pregnant with my son, who's about to be 4. And so I told her about that. That was actually in the last, like, during the last time I talked to her. And so, like, 2 weeks go by, and I haven't heard from her. So I call my granny. She hasn't heard from her. So we decide to go and look for her. So we go to the apartment complex that we knew she was staying at, and she's not there. But these 2 people walk out. It's a guy and a girl. And we asked them if they know Bonnie. And they're like, no, we don't know nobody named Bonnie. And I was like, okay, well, how about Swamp? And the guy says Swamp. So I'm like, or he says that he is Swamp. So I'm like, okay, you do know my mom. Because you're the last person she was with whenever I talked to her, because he had got a flat tire on his Tahoe and she was taking him a jack. So when she gets up there, to him, she's on video chat and she's showing him who I am. This is my daughter, blah, blah, blah. She done that all the time. But he's like, yeah, oh yeah, Pocahontas. You're talking about Pocahontas, but I don't know where she's at. So that right there was sketchy to me, anyways. But like, why are you gonna deny knowing her? You know her name's Bonnie. But so we go looking for her. We couldn't find her. So we went and filed a missing persons report, and we done that on December 27th. No, we didn't. Yeah, we did. I'm pretty sure we filed the report December 27th. I'm going to go and get a copy of the report so that way I can, like, tell y'all, read y'all the initial report and show it to y'all. But, so we go to file the missing persons report. And the officer, he's like, she doesn't want to be found. She's an addict. She's not missing. She just doesn't want to be found. Like, why would you even say that to somebody? We know her. Like, we know, like, it doesn't matter how long she was an addict. It doesn't matter what she was doing. She was still involved with us. She still came around. Especially to get money from my granny. Like, we know her. She ain't just going to up and leave and just not tell nobody. So, we filed the report. They don't do a search or nothing. They don't do nothing, honestly. So, but they give it, there's a lead investigator on the case. And so we're still out looking for her car. Like 2 weeks go by and we're going to Chattanooga, handing out flyers. I mean, we're looking for her, searching for her. We find her car in Knoxville. I think it was overall off of Broadway at this apartment complex. All her stuff was in it. Her purse was in it, her ID, social security card, all her clothes, her hygiene, everything was in her car. So we called the investigator. Oh, and the seat. The seat was pushed back as far as it could go. Like, my mom was like 5'7". She wouldn't have been able to reach the pedal. So we find the car. We call the investigator and tell the investigator. They don't fingerprint it. They don't take it for evidence. They didn't do nothing. They told us we could take it. So my aunt, my mom's sister, had it towed to her house. Like, why? That just makes no sense. Like, if she wasn't an addict, is that how it would have played out? I doubt it. So, okay, so we find her car, and you would think they would, like, do, like, a search around so many miles around that area, but they didn't. Like I said, they let us take it. So, then, all these different stories are coming out that she was messing with the MS-13 gang, and she tried to get over on them, and they put her in a barrel and put her in this storage unit somewhere off of, like, Lover Road or Dutchtown Road, or Dutchtown, something like that, right here in Knoxville, very close to me. So, and supposedly, like, there was, like, a fence around it, and there was a hole in this fence. So we're going and we're looking for this storage unit, which we don't find. And then, what was another story? That she was in, like, the bottom of this lake over by UT, the UT campus. So we go and we're looking, can't find nothing. They're not going to send no divers down because they don't care. They're not helping us look. Like, whenever I'm saying we're looking, it's us. Like, it's me, my family, friends. That's who's looking. And then we got family members going to psychics and hearing all, getting all these different stories. And a lot of them do involve water. And then another one was she was off of some trail over, it was a park in Knoxville, like Holston Park or something like that, and that she was up there on a trail, and there was like some type of little ditch thing that her body was in, wrapped up in a cover. But again, the police do nothing. They don't go looking for her. They don't go. It's like they're not taking these leads seriously. So then, like I said, okay, this is 3 people. So Will's sister, the guy that was missing too, they're also looking. They're also doing searches and stuff, but he's an addict too, so they're not looking for him. And then, like, I think it was like January 1st or January 3rd is whenever Brenda, her family, reported her missing. So we don't really know if she was even with them. We don't know if all 3 of them are together. But if they are, how do 3 people go missing? Just disappear. No lead, no trace, no nothing. Because the police ain't looking for them. Maybe if they were actually looking, they would have found something. And then, 80% of the time when something like this happens, whenever someone disappears, whenever a family member is murdered, or, stuff in this criteria, it's a family member or a close friend or a close relative that does it to them, okay? None of us were questioned. And I'm not saying any of us had anything to do with it, because I promise to God that's not the case. Like, we loved our mother dearly. But they still should have done their job and questioned us. Found out, what do we know? What was the last things that we know of her? What was she doing the last time we talked to her? Where was she at the last time we talked to her? Who was she around? They should have questioned all of us, but they didn't. Not a single one of us. Okay. So then they put out this guy. His name is Jeremy Jerome Hardison. His nickname is Big Country, Knoxville area. So back in the 90s, he had got some type of manslaughter charge, and then he got out of prison, and then he ended up with some other type of, serious charge like that, got out again, and then I think it was in 2017 or 28, it was either 2017 or 2018, he shot somebody in the back or in the head with an AR, and so he had just got sentenced to life in prison for that. And all of a sudden, they put him out on the news as a person of interest in my mom's case. So, see, we had heard a little bit about this guy because jail talk, like people in jail were saying, like he was saying he knew about it or he done it or whatever. You can't believe all that kind of stuff, though. So, I had never heard my mom speak of this guy. I don't know him at all, so I don't really know nothing about him. But all of a sudden, they put him out as a person of interest. And to me, like, if they put somebody out on the news as a person of interest, there has to be a reason that they're thinking that. I don't know if it was all the jail talk people were doing or what, but he said he knew nothing of it. He was not talking, nothing about it. So, I think he's still considered a person of interest. I don't really know. I quit talking to the investigators because I felt like they weren't doing nothing anyways. But my aunt stayed in contact with the investigators, and anytime she heard anything, she would email them. So, so then there's this kid named Justin. What was his last name? I can't think of his last name right now. But supposedly, I went to high school with him. He has a brother and a sister. Or he has a twin brother or something like that who's in prison right now. But so Justin supposedly gave my mom all kinds of counterfeit money, like $10,000 worth of counterfeit money. And let me change that. He had gave my mom like $10,000 worth of fake money. So this kid gets questioned, okay, because he goes to jail. He went to jail, and so while he's in jail, they question him about this. We don't know what he said to them or nothing, but I think he denied the claims of knowing anything about it. But so he gets out, and when he gets out, he ends up overdosing and dies. Like, he was questioned about the disappearance of my mom. He gets out of jail and overdoses and dies. Now, we don't know if he'd done it himself, like, if it was just an accidental overdose, or if maybe it was guilt, if he did know something and he done it on purpose, or did somebody else do it? Because he was questioned and they don't know what what was said, what he told. So that happens. Well, then not too long ago, like, I'm talking like within the last few months, I see on the news these six guys, Treetop Pyru gang members. They are arrested because one of their gang members, they wanted him to go to Cali and do a retaliation, and he refused to do it, so they killed him. So they're arrested. Well, one of them resembled Swamp. There was some features that I was like, like he's missing this and this and that, because Swamp was tall and lanky. He had very long dreads, but his eyes looked real yellow. And the guy in the picture, his eyes didn't really look yellow, but he did resemble Swamp. So my aunt texts he emails the detective, and the detective is like, no, like that's not Swamp. We've already questioned Swamp. Hardison is a known gangster disciple, so he would not associate with these men because these guys are Treetop Pyru. So when I seen that message, I was like, that proved it. Like, they're not looking for her. They never was. Because Swamp and Hardison are not the same person. They're nowhere near, they don't even look alike. Like, how, if you're the lead investigator on the case, how do you not know this? It makes no sense. So, really, it's because she's an addict. They're not looking for her. So why don't, in my eyes, why don't addicts deserve the same as non-addicts, If she wasn't an addict, they would have done a huge search and rescue for her, I'm sure. I see it all the time. But because she was an addict, she didn't want to be found. And here we are to this day. And let me tell you, I have a crazy story. Me and my sister, my oldest sister, Crystal, we were in Big Lots. And this lady walks up to us, and she starts reading us. I'll do a whole nother video on that, because that was like the craziest story ever. But basically what she told us was my mom was alive and she was being sex trafficked. It's a crazy story. So I'll tell y'all that in a whole nother video, because it blew my mind. It really did. And she was like dead on with everything she said. But we still don't know nothing. We still celebrate her. We literally involve her in everything. On her birthday, we celebrate her birthday on May 28th. We have parties for her. So we do still, she's still part of our lives. But I feel like just because she was an addict does not mean she doesn't deserve justice for whatever is happening to her. Whether she's alive, whether she's dead, there's something happening. Or something happened to her, and we deserve to know what it is. And she deserves justice. That's all there is to it. All these addicts that are going missing, I've got people messaging me since my first video, and they literally, the same things happened. They're going missing. They're addicts, so nothing's being done about it. They don't want to waste their time looking for these addicts. And let me tell you, my mom she was a functional addict. She worked. She wasn't, she was very involved in our lives. She loved her grandkids. I mean, she just, and what's crazy is she was in rehab, or no, she was in a halfway house, and she had left, and within like a month or two, she ended up disappearing, and she battled addiction for a long time. Like, I could literally go back and tell you from the time she gave us, like, when she first became an addict, like, she gave custody of all 5 of us to my grandmother. And let me tell you, my granny, she stood behind us, and we drove that woman crazy. And she still, even today, with us being grown, she stands behind us. Doesn't matter what we do. We do no wrong in that woman's eyes. Like, she still stands behind us. And that's my biggest thing. Like, I want closure for her. Before she passes, I want closure for her. I want her to know, because this has driven her crazy. It really has. And I don't see how the police can sit here and just think it's okay to do what they're doing. And there's a lot more to this. Like, I'm gonna get into it and tell y'all everything. And my Aunt Rachel, she has 4 years worth of emails from the detectives, so she's gathering all those for me so I can show y'all all that. Like, it's crazy that it's okay for the police to do this. Like, I know people go missing. Like, I mean, hundreds of thousands of people go missing a year. Some of them just vanish. Like, I mean, there's no trace at all. Just like my mom, really. There's just nothing. But supposedly in Knox County, sex trafficking is like a huge problem. So that could be the case for her. Maybe that's what it is. But us knowing her, we would think that she would somehow get a hold of us. Not now, not 5 years later, because none of us have the same phone numbers, I don't think. But she would find a way. So, I don't know. But I'm going to do another video on the lady that me and my older sister ran into at Big Lots, because I'm telling you, the story is crazy. She read us like a book, and we don't know this woman at all. We have never met her. We don't know her from Adam, and I'm telling you, the story is crazy. But I'm going to do another video on that. But if y'all are interested in this kind of stuff, I'm gonna do more videos, not just about my mom. Like, I got people messaging me stories about them, and their family, the same thing happened. I'm gonna do the stories on them to help spread the word on them too, because somebody needs to bring awareness to this. Like, it's crazy. And the people selling fentanyl, doing that. Like, my dad just died of an overdose from that in December, like a week before the 4th year of my mom's disappearance. And I just feel like the people who are selling that know that they're selling it, and they should have to, that should be murder, because he didn't know that it was fentanyl. And honestly, I'm not even dealt with that situation. I put it all inside. I've got chronic social anxiety from all this. I ain't worked in like 4 years since this happened. I stay in the house. I stay to myself. Like, I don't know. This stuff really, it really bothers me. And see, I've been wanting to do videos on it and like spread the word on it for like a year. But like I just said, I got chronic social anxiety. So doing this, honestly, it really does. It gives me really bad anxiety. I get panic attacks, and I never had this stuff in my life before. I was never this way until the disappearance of her. Because that woman, that was my best friend. So, I'm going to let y'all go, but I would do another video. I'm going to do the video about, like I said, the lady at Big Lots tomorrow. I'll do that video tomorrow because I want y'all to hear that story. It's crazy. And, if y'all don't care, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, so that way you're notified whenever I do the other videos. Hit the thumbs up if you like these videos. And like I said, I'm going to do more videos, not just on my mom, but of other missing person stories. But don't mind me, because like I said, I'm new to YouTube. And I'm new to TikTok too. I'm about to put it on TikTok too. But if you don't care, hit the subscribe button. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Be safe.